Today, another part of President Obama's housing plan goes into effect. The program will let underwater homeowners sell their homes for less than they owe and basically force the lender to take the loss rather than foreclose on the home. So what does the plan mean for homeowners and lenders? Well, let's ask Shari Olefson of Fowler White Boggs and Susan Wachter, professor of real estate and finance at the Wharton Business School. Susan, let me begin with you. You know, there have been any number of attempts, of course, to sort of forestall a growing wave of foreclosures, to get some stabilization in the housing market. Is this plan going to work, in your opinion?
This plan will certainly help. What it helps by is getting those transactions to occur that all the parties want to get to occur, but there are just so many barriers to making it happen. This facilitates it. Now,
you know, in the past, they've also dealt with problems of securitization, meaning it was unclear exactly who held title to the home, or the mortgage, I should say, and getting the requisite approvals from all of those underlying lenders, if you will, have made it very difficult to get foreclosure mitigation. Does that continue to be a problem, Shari Olefson?
Well, there have been some lawsuits, but some of these solutions, like the HAMP solution or now this HAFA program, sort of account for that with the net present value test, and other litmuses that are really in the investor's best interest to begin with. So these are not programs where people automatically get a free modification or a free foreclosure or short sale or deed in lieu. These are programs where the lenders or servicers are weighing which is the best alternative for the investor. And if it's not going to net the investor more money, they're not doing them.
I see. Do you think any of the programs to date have been a success?
We know that the HAMP program didn't work, and it's very interesting because this time last year the administration was saying we are going to save 9 million homeowners. We're going to keep them in their homes by modifying their mortgages and somehow magically making their homes affordable. This year now what we're hearing is that's not really an option. So now what we're going to do is we're going to get them out of their homes in the least damaging, most efficient manner possible.
Yeah, Susan Wachter, we seem to, there's obviously a lot of hope in terms of the ability of these plans to really stabilize housing. Do you think this is the one that truly does it?
I think it does move it a long way towards that. You know, the fundamentals are what ultimately matter, and the fundamentals should be hitting in a good way. That is, employment beginning to grow again, hopefully interest rates staying down, but this will help.
Who's going to make the decision here? I'm just curious because to see if it's going to be successful. I mean, is it the person who's currently in the home? Is it the bank? Is it the servicer? Because it seems the answer to that question will determine whether this works.
Well, to
Aaron,
start
very
with,
few people actually. Go ahead, Susan.
Well, to start with, the banks are now going to be on the line to offer this across the board and to offer it at a price that they agree with to begin with. So the transaction's part of this. You can imagine it's a mess in terms of who goes first, just as you say. But the process is being clarified. That's important.
Yeah, Shari,
right.
I mean, it seems like that really is important. Until we know that, it's going to sort of be everyone seems like they're just going to kind of sit there and stall.
Exactly.
Yeah, well, Aaron, this program really only applies to certain people, so very few people are really going to be eligible for it. But what it does is it sort of primes the banks and the servicers for offering a program like this more globally to other people, and it provides a framework in terms of the documents, the timelines, and how the deficiencies and the credit ratings will be dealt with, and also junior lien holders, which has been a real obstacle to short sales and deeds in lieu.
Right, the junior lien holders.
Exactly
Right.
Shari,
if I could just end with you, some say there's shadow inventory of 7 million foreclosures out there, conceivably. How much of a dent can this really make in that possible number?
David, that's a great question. And here's the important thing about HAFA starting today, I think, is that last year, remember, the administration was saying we're going to keep 9 million people in their homes. We know the HAMP modification didn't work. So just by definition, we know those 9 million people are still wondering what to do. If we're going to add 9 million homes to our shadow inventory by deeds in lieu and short sales, what that means is rather than keeping those people in the homes, we're putting those homes into the inventory. And this is going to be another 2 or 3 years before it works its way through the system.
All right.
I agree.
We need housing. We certainly need it if we're going to have a sustained economic recovery. Thanks to you both, Shari Olefson, Susan Wachter.
Take care.
Thank you.